In a recent video about the Wii U, I talked about why I think it ended up being a commercial failure. But commercial success or lack of it doesn't dictate whether I like something or not. In fact, I really like the Wii U, and today I want to show you how I think it succeeded for me and what it does well. I'll start off with a few points I usually don't hear people talking about. The first is on-screen manuals. Nintendo is one of those companies that has stuck with full-color manuals as long as they could. The Wii U era still had manuals in many of the games, but they slowly started going away, so Nintendo decided to go with on-screen manuals that could be brought up during the game. I think this is a really cool idea. And it's not like you have to scroll through the thing like crazy. It's nice and organized, and you can even jump to different sections. It's also a quick way to look up the control scheme for games that support different controllers. Or if you're stupid like me and forget basic game mechanics after not playing a game for a week or two, this is a good way to look up that information. Speaking of looking up information, I also really like the built-in web browser. Before I owned a Switch, I used to look up walkthroughs on certain shrines or other puzzles I had trouble solving in Breath of the Wild. It's not like it's the best browser ever, but it did add a nice little bit of convenience. Another thing the Wii U is pretty good with is the Eshop and Virtual Console. Not only are there a bunch of great games from previous generations and consoles, there's even DS games to play. And I don't think there's going to be another Nintendo system that'll even have this two-screen layout. At least it seems really unlikely. Because of the eShop, it's also possible to play a ton of Zelda games on one system. And let's not forget the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD remakes. So far they're only available on the Wii U, and I find those excellent. The free online multiplayer function is something I really enjoy also. I get why Sony and Microsoft charge for online play. It's easy for people to complain about the cost, but infrastructure needs to be improved, and at the very least maintained. And Nintendo's going that route now as well. But with the Wii U, that's totally free. And going by how long the online services lasted on the Wii, I think it'll take at least a few years before that gets all deactivated. Of course, we also have to talk about the games. Many of the best-selling games on the Switch are ports of Wii U games. Used Wii U games are much cheaper than used Switch games, which means that it's a very affordable way to play those games. And the improvements on the Switch games aren't so great that they make the originals irrelevant. And even though the list of exclusives is getting smaller, there's still some that can't be played anywhere else, like Super Mario Maker and Super Mario 3D World. After having spent so much time playing Odyssey, 3D World actually comes across as somewhat refreshing, with its power-ups and different characters to play. And I already mentioned the HD remakes of the GameCube Zelda games, which depending on your opinion could be considered exclusives. It's not like you can play the remakes on other consoles. Of course, third-party games are lacking overall, but if you want to play Nintendo games, this system offers most of everything any Nintendo fan wants. Wii backwards compatibility can't be ignored either. For Nintendo fans who either might just be starting out, or don't have or want that many consoles around or hooked up, the Wii U is a good way to play many games on one system. And I'm told that with soft modding, it's even more versatile. I guess that's something we should look into doing someday. And finally, one thing the Wii U did very well was be a stepping stone for the Switch, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way. Without it, the Switch wouldn't have existed in the way it does now. Like I mentioned in the other video, I think most people expected or wanted to be able to use the gamepad as if that was the console, which might have been something that Nintendo didn't expect customers to want. Through the Wii U, we also got Amiibo, which, while not being exactly original, did enable Nintendo to make figures more interesting to the average gamer by adding in-game functionality. But yeah, those are some of the things I think the Nintendo Wii U did very well. This video is one for the Wii U fans. There's an abundance of videos talking about why the thing failed, so it's nice to talk about positive aspects of the system for a change. It is one of my favorite Nintendo consoles after all. So thanks everyone for watching, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again in the next video.